It's Mixed Media Mayhem. So today we're scraplifting Happy Mail Scrap at blogspot.com, and this is the scrap lift, and I'm also using the counterfeit kit challenge. Welcome if you're new here, and welcome back if you are returning. So today I'm going to scrapbook this picture of my daughter and my husband, and I'm going to use this Hip Kit Club paper called All the Feels from a long time ago, and I'm going to use just a piece of it on the side like the scrap lift is, and I'm gonna flip it though, so my pattern paper is going to be on the right side instead of the left side, and that's because my husband and my daughter are looking that direction, so I want them looking into the space, not into the paper. So I just slice that down a little bit, and I'm going to get this glued on right away, or taped on. And then there's a whole bunch of paint or ink or something like that down the middle of where that line is. So I grabbed a palette knife, and I'm thinking I'm going to use this gold acrylic paint, and I'm just going to smear it like this. And so there's a good mess of it going down both sides, and then there's a line of it coming out. My line of it coming out gets a lot bigger than what I was anticipating, but that's okay. On the sketch, it's just a tiny little bit of a line, and this probably would have worked. Like, the smearing vertically is awesome. My horizontal bit is definitely a little wide. If I'd done that with like a packaging technique, that would have maybe worked better, but that's okay. I'm happy with this. It's going to work. Just wiping off my palette knife. I'm going to hit it with my heat gun. I don't make you watch all of that part. And then just kind of lining up where I think that would go. And then I'm going to splatter it with this apricot glimmer mist from Glimmer Angels. This is like so old. But I have quite a bit of this still, so I'm going to use it. And so the apricot kind of goes with some of the embellishments that I pulled out. So I pulled out a whole bunch of orangey, yellowy kind of tones. And then I was going to put it on a black tag. And then I decided I didn't really like the black tag. I definitely want black embellishments on my page as accents, but maybe not the whole tag. So I just cut around this one. I'm using my corner rounder to round those corners, and then I like that better, and I'm just punching the hole. I'm going to use a reinforcer. I thought maybe I'd leave that white, but then I inked this all in black, so I'm just going to pull it off here right away and ink that too. I think I'm going to map my photo here first though. So I just wanted it to be a little bit darker to just make that photo pop just a little bit more. So I'm going to cut this about 1/4 inch bigger than my picture to start with. So there's just about 1/8 inch around. And then I corner rounded that and my picture. And then I put it on here, and I should have measured my tag first too before I cut my black, because you see the tiniest bit, but I want to see more of the yellow. So I'm just going to take off 1/8 inch, not even like, yeah, maybe about 1/8. So there should be about 1/16 inch around for the black. And so it's just the tiniest bit, but it does give enough to make it pop on that yellow. And just lining it up, and that works out really good. And then this paper and reinforcer, I just put on the back, inked it up, and then put it back, because why not? Nobody sees the back of this anyway. And so I did pull out this 40-9 in Market film strip, because on the scrap lift she's got a film strip. She does have a bow that she's using, so I pulled out this black and white one from Hip Kit Club. I don't know why that's always so hard for me to say. It's like a tongue twister. And so I'm just gluing these pieces together. And I'm using the Nuvo Deluxe glue because it glues really well, and I like it. So I thought maybe some of these layering pieces, that one I put in isn't going to be staying, but there's also some thread that goes from the top to the bottom. She has it through some eyelets. I don't have any eyelets in the color that I wanted, so I'm going to do something else. I liked this hug word. They're doing a bit of a cuddle hug thing. And then I'm going to look through this bag of yellowy stuff. I pull out a whole bunch of flowers, but spoiler alert, I don't use any of these flowers. But I left this in because this is part of my process. I didn't want anything too stark, but I did want it to complement what I've got going on already. So pulling out some different brads. So instead of the eyelets, I'm going to use brads instead. So I pulled out these ones that have silver and kind of an amber inside, but I'm not sure I like them. I pulled out these vellum pieces. These are the vellum I just put in as layers is from, I think it's Studio Calico. But yeah, I like the gold, but I didn't want that gold. I like the texture of the orange better. This memory tag I like better. I didn't want to overdo the gold. These tickets I'm going to use in a little bit. So I have a pile of stuff that I took out. And I also want to pop some buttons on here because the first challenge number 1 for March from the Counterfeit Kit Challenge is to have buttons and flowers on a page, and I haven't done it yet, so I'm pulling out buttons, and a couple of my buttons are going to look like flowers, so I'm going to get both as a button. So pulled out some that are kind of gold, some that are black to tie in some of that black. Now I'm going to use my knife and poke a hole, and so this is where my brad is going to go, so at the top and the bottom. And then I'm going to use a little bit of Nuvo glue, and I'm going to wrap the edge of this thread around. And this thread has some like wide spots and some not so wide spots, and it's quite lovely. And this is the last bit of it that I have left. So I'm going to thread it through the film strip, and then it's going to come up to the top, and I'm going to poke another brad in the same color, which is kind of a rusty orangey color. And then I'm going to wrap this around, put the tag on first, wrap it around, feed it through the tag again, and then I'm going to feed it through the film strip again. I'm going to wrap the last little bit around the brad at the bottom, and then I'm going to tape that piece in eventually, glue that piece in eventually. And so then that part is kind of secure. It needs to be glued yet, but this is what's going to happen. So thinking about where the bow is going to go in the scrap lift, hers is about here. And I was thinking maybe flowers there. I don't know. Didn't really like the flowers there. And I hadn't attached the back part of it yet for the bow, so I'm going to do that. And I'm going to play with these vellum pieces. They're actually speech bubbles, but I'm going to use them not like speech bubbles because I don't use speech bubbles on very many things. I grabbed this very thick piece of ribbon, twine, binding, I don't know. It came off of a bag. It's a bag handle, and I just kept it. I have 2 of them. And it's very thick and very dark, but I really like it. So it's a lot on that, but it looks like a lot more on the video than it does in real life. And I am going to sprinkle some black stuff around to balance out that part of things, but I really like it. And so I've cut some of the bits off of that first vellum speech bubble, and it's orange and has polka dots on it. And so I'm going to do the same thing with this other one. I'm trying to put this hug somewhere. It's annoying me. I like this washi tape. I think this was Studio Calico too. So I'm going to tear it in half and put a piece on the bottom and a piece on the top. The bottom gets covered up, but that's what happens. I decided I didn't like that one, but I am going to use these tickets. So I'm going to cut them in half, and half is going to go on the top. And kind of sort of like that, but it'll move over a little bit, and half will go on the bottom. And just like the layers, so I'm going to get some of this stuff glued on. So I wanted this in between the two threads, but underneath the film strip, which is, I don't know, I thought it added different texture. And then I'm getting the film strip, or the tickets in underneath the film strip, between the ribbons or the thread, and then all the way across. And so I like the way that looks. So looking at doing this other orange vellum down here, and I am going to cut a corner out of it so I can save that part of it, because why not? And then this one, this is where I go wrong with covering up that washi. I almost completely covered the washi up already, and I didn't even notice, but that's okay. I like this chipboard heart, and I think this is Studio Calico as well. I am going to add some foam underneath because I already know that I'm getting a little dimensional around my tag with my photo on it. So I want to prop this up so that I do have enough room to tuck and put things. I'm securing that end of that thread now. And I took the backing off this sticker, or I'm taking the backing off the sticker, and I put a foam adhesive on it, and it's going to stay there. I thought this flower would go underneath because it covers up kind of where you can see that ticket is cut in half, but I'm going to put this XO chipboard piece because it's the same colors as this heart, so I might as well. And I'm still fiddling with this hug. I don't like it right beside the memories. It was okay down here, but I didn't like how it was interacting with the film strip. That would have been all right, I guess. I don't know. Wasn't feeling it after I got everything else on. So I'm going to commit to that XO. I'm going to put that bow on top of the memories because I kind of like that there. I'm going to put some of these buttons around. I've decided, no, I'm not using that hug. And I'm going to slide this up just a bit, just because I wanted it a little bit more centered on that photo. Down. Hers was up. Mine is going to go back up a little bit, I think. Maybe not. Yes, there we go. And then this one says, let's get cozy, which I thought worked really well. And it's a flare, and I think that's from Studio Calico as well. I'm getting lots of that stash used up that I've had forever. That just needs a little bit more glue. That foam wasn't sticking as well as I wanted it to. I'm going to slide a button underneath the film strip right here. I'm going to put one up here. I want another black one, so I do have one more in this baggie. And I'm just looking to see if I have another of the flower style ones. So this one is the flower style one, I think. And then these ones are going to go on. Debating those flowers again, but I decided nope. Get these buttons on. So I'm happy with that so far. And then I'm going to prop this up on adhesive foam. I was thinking maybe I needed a little more of this orange, but I don't. I'm going to use this orange just above. That's part of that vellum piece that's around my photo. And then this is going up on adhesive foam, and it's just going to sit kind of centered over top of those memories. Another little button there, a little more glue. And that's looking pretty good to me. So I am going to pull out some of these. I thought I was going to use these Ali Edwards phrases, and they're gold and they're perforated. And I did pull this one out, but it's a little wide for where I want to put it. So I thought maybe there, but then it covers up all that ticket. And that's when I realized that I covered up my washi tape. And I'm like, nope, I don't want to cover all that up. I did those layers in there. I don't want to cover them up. So I did pull out these black and white ones when I pulled out the black ribbon. So I'm going to use a few of these ones, and I think these ones are Studio Calico too. And this one says "To the Moon and Back" again. And this one says "Yes, please," and it goes on the X's and O's chipboard, so "Hugs and kisses, please." And then this one says "Always," and I'm going to sneak it underneath the "Let's get cozy." And so that's just a little bit more white and black in a few of the spots, and I like that. And so now I'm going to do a little more sprinkling with the apricot, because why not? And then I decided maybe my tag needs some of that too, so I'm going to make sure that happens. Put my lid on my glue because that's important. And I'm looking for my black ink, which was right in front of me at the top there, but that's okay. Add some water to that, and I am just going to use this paintbrush, and I'm going to do a lot of black splatters to bring even a little bit more black around. I only want these ones to be pretty fine and tiny, so I'm not adding like a whole bunch of water to that, just enough to get that tiny bit. And then I am using a wet wipe to take the stuff off of the picture. And that is done. So here it is a little bit closer up. Oh, it's so much fun. I like this one. There's some close-ups here to follow, just so you can see some of the little bits and pieces that are here. And my page all done together. And thank you so much for watching. If you liked my video today, I would appreciate the thumbs up. There's a subscribe button here too. And there's another playlist and other video. Thank you so much for watching. Have yourself a great day.